Welcome back to Frank's Garage. We are getting ready to attend the DSM shootout. But before we do that, we're going to do a few upgrades like we always do before our races. We are switching to methanol. So we're going to add 8 injectors, 2 per cylinder. So I got a whole new runner that goes here that allows me to have 8 injectors in it. And I already received a copper gasket from Dela Cruz. If you know anything about these Skunk 2 manifolds, they have just a little, cloth one or paper one that usually blows out, and you can only use it once. So I'm waiting on the runners. They won't be here until the end of the week. I already have the injectors. They're downstairs. I did check them on the injector machine, make sure they all matched. We got some Bosch 2200s, which is originally what was in here. So I got 8 of those total now. I bought 8 new ones. And we've added a back pressure sensor to our turbo manifold. We are hopefully upgrading our turbo. All that work I did on that DSM, we're waiting for our payment for that. So we're gonna start and we're gonna pull this intake manifold off and get going. Lots to do. I'm excited. So if you know anything about these Skunk 2 intake manifolds on K-Series, there's technically spots for 4 more injectors on the bottom, but it's too tight down there. It's so tight down there that it's even hard to get these nuts and bolts off down and into the intake manifold. So what I had to do, I actually ground a couple of the nubs away originally, and I'll show you, but I have a stud on each corner that I use a nut, and then the rest are actual bolts. So I'll show you that here in a second, how I ground them down. But we bought just the center piece that will bolt to this, that allows us to have 8 injectors on top. Makes it super easy to work on, because down below, like I said, it's impossible to use that. This is the bottom. You see how there's room for 4 injectors on the bottom. You see I ground them down to be able to put these bolts in. These are actually, I have these as studs, so it's easier to put on. There's no way you get a fuel rail down there and fit down here with all this stuff. It's just not real life. So we have a Haltech Elite 1500 ECU. It only allows outputs for 4 injectors, but all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this apart. I'll probably put a Deutsch connector on it, and then we'll just tie 2 cylinders together, like one, we'll have 2 wires, and so on. It's a proven concept on these ECUs, so I don't see an issue with that. Got a little bit of fuel down in there, but they look pretty good. Those are our new valves we put in over the year. They look good back here also. So that'll be nice. We'll cut this off and we'll put a Deutsch there, and that'll allow us to have a plug and play injector harness. Pretty sweet. So we have acquired our methanol fuel, baby. Shout out to my boy Frankie. El Franco's about to be on meth. Alrighty, so we got our piece that allows us to add 2 injectors per cylinder. Came with a fuel rail, came with some spacers, some hardware. Issue already. As you can see, first of all, way shorter, which we knew that. We saw the reviews about that. But you cannot put it on. It does not fit. It hits the water pump. As you can see, I've already had this ground down to begin with, but it hits the PCB right here. I'm gonna have to cut this all off to be able to get this on here. It does not fit at all. It is way off. Way off. All right, so I ground off tight. So I cut off all of that, as you can see, and I got it to fit now. So they need to add that to their notes, that it doesn't actually fit cars with a water pump or any of that stuff. We understand the Skunk 2, we had to grind this for it to fit, but nothing like that. It's because, if you see here, Skunk 2 has an angle on it. It's completely different. Completely. So the next thing is going to be, is that going to fit correctly in the car? All right, so here we are with this intake manifold adapter here. Once again, the whole reason we're running this is to have 8 injectors. 8 injectors, 2 per cylinder, so we can run methanol. Now, we already have the fuel pump that will support it. We just have to add 2 more injectors. I already have all that. We'll have to adapt the fuel rail. I think I mentioned that earlier, but these do not line up. See, that's way off there. See how off that is right there? Off. Off. So they're all a little off. So I'm gonna have to make those holes bigger, unfortunately. And I don't like this lip. Lip right there. Lip right there. Lip right there. That'll catch some serious air. So will this, technically. So I'm not very happy with this adapter, honestly. So we know this intake manifold gasket is true because it worked. But look, you see, if I line those holes up there, which they don't, that one's way off, that one's way off. So if I go here, that one's way off, that one's way off, that one's way off. If I put those right there, that one's where it needs to be right there. That one's good. Way off, way off, way off, and way off. So I got it on. Just gonna have to do a little bit of reaming modifications here and there. This is what you get for buying knockoff stuff. I like to support my boys, but it's just not the same as buying the name brand stuff. So, you know, the holes aren't in the exact right spot. It hits certain places. The other thing I don't like is my fuel rail was 12 AN to 10 AN. This fuel rail is 8 AN, so I'm gonna have to go 8 AN to 12 AN on my fuel. But we should be able to get to work, at least for now. Maybe next year we'll buy a real intake manifold. I'll feel a little bit better about that. But we're also trying to decide since we're switching to M1, we're also deciding, should we put cams in it also and change the turbo? But nothing like making a bunch of changes before it's time to go racing. We cut all that off. And I'm still not convinced that I'm not gonna have to grind anything on the water passage. It's not hooked up right now. So for the $200 or $300 you save by buying this one, it's up to you. Even if I had an electric water pump, yes, it wouldn't hit there, but the holes still wouldn't line up correctly where you actually mount it. Well, I think we're on to bad news again. See how you can see inside the intake manifold right there? That is never gonna seal. Come on, what? Goodness. So I got everything all modified. You saw I drilled all those holes out. I slotted them. So we got it bolted on. All four are in the top. At the bottom, we're gonna use a bolt there, and then we're gonna use a stud. You can see how far off that is. Look at that, how much I had to drill that. We're gonna use studs in the corner. Look at that. Can you see that? Holy crap, that's insane. And you know, like I said, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that. But she should work for now. Look how small that looks. Well, you can see it way better. Look at that hole underneath the gasket. So if I slide this down, you know, not gonna be right, and over, covers the hole, but I'm gonna have to drill these holes out to get the holes to line up. Look how far off that one is. All right, so now I'm really upset that this doesn't fit correctly. Like, it's completely off. Piece of garbage. Just needs thrown away at this point. I am going to talk to them. Hopefully they help me out taking this thing back or something. Store credit, because that's ridiculous. After all those modifications, not even the plenum fits the freaking flange. Like, come on, people. And as you can tell here, just even the fuel rail. Like, that's dumb as shit. So I'm not happy. So now we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do to add 8 injectors to this thing, because that didn't work out for us. That freaking company, they helped me out with other stuff that worked great for all these years, but now I guess it's time to grow up. All right, so it's a couple days later, but let's pick up where we left off. Remember, this thing does not work. So I've contacted them. I'm waiting for them to reply back. They better take this piece of crap back, or I'm gonna be very upset. I ordered another one from a different company that's supposed to be way better. So we're waiting on that. While we're waiting on that, you probably just saw the time lapse of me taking our cams out. There they are on the ground. We got some Drag Cartel 2.2s from one of our buddies. Everybody's helping me out. We got a couple new parts coming too. We're trying to go to this event, the not streetcar shootout. We're trying to go to Norwalk for the shootout, and we're trying to run an 8. We're trying to compete. So we're doing a bunch of upgrades, you know, a week before the race, like we always do. So we have the top end off the car real quick. We're gonna put the cams on, and we're still working on our methanol issue, like I just mentioned. So hopefully that works out. So we need our methanol, we need our cams, and then I have another surprise coming. I'm waiting for that from my buddies again. Everything looks good. Stock cams. I've been running stock cams my whole life. So we'll do a quick video going over the car. So it has a Waterman 7 gallons per minute fuel pump. We have a battery, 80 amp hour Shurkin battery. It weighs about 50 some pounds. We have blocks drag racing coilovers.
some junk. I don't know what they are. Camber adjusters. They came on the car years ago. These are Valix Racing lines. Some junk dollar store traction bar. Yokohama 36mm axles with extended stubs. It has there's a fuel filter, this is a like an Evil Energy fuel filter. It's a pre-filter before the pump. It comes out of the PLM 2.2 gallon cell. Comes over into there, comes up there into the pump. After the pump goes to a 10 micron or a 20 micron. This is a MagnaFuel one, and that goes to the fuel rail. This is a stock, well, it's an RBB stock port head, RBB3. It's an RBB3. It has SuperTech springs, retainers, and valves. Stock besides that. It does have a 50-degree VTC, which we're not using all 50 degrees. And it has, down in the block, it has stock sleeves. It has epoxy with copper O-ring on the sleeves. It has Speed Factory rods and pistons with only ARP 2000 bolts. So big improvements are needed down there in the rod department. That's why I keep this thing rev low. I don't go over 8,800, 8,900 RPMs. But once we start making power, we're gonna have to increase those numbers to get the mile an hour. So basic setup there, basic engine. It has a BF Gears HD dog box 1 through 4. So there's only 4 gears. It has a M Factory LSD. We have a KDN shifter with their new plate. They just released this today. I've had this for 6 months. They just put it on the market today. It's got new collars on it for adjustments, so it makes it easier to adjust everything. And that's going to a KDN shifter inside. It has a Weldon fuel pressure regulator. There's the part number. That's the big one, the bigger one. Sorry. Can you see that? You have to get it. It has smart coils. It has fire core wires. I went and got these custom built by them in the parking lot. Has port mounts. I powder coat them. 3-bar map sensor. It has no back brakes. That's why they're capped. These come from the master cylinder. These go to the front brakes. No back brakes. Stock masters. It has an S2000 slave for the, or master for the clutch. That's basically it. An old harness from Rywire. It was the Acura's harness to begin with. And solid engine mounts. They're solid billet. Solid billet mounts. The engine's not even sagging right now. There's no jack holding it. Crazy. Yeah, so inside has a parachute, a 420 parachute. It has the KDN shifter with all the lockouts. 121, 232. It has a KDN staging brake. That's what controls the back brakes. It has some master here. It has an emergency brake for finishing lines. So you pull the pressure back and then you lock it and it holds the fluid in the lines. So you have an emergency brake. It's on Haltech 1500. It has a 1500 WB1. Don't mind the wiring everywhere. I've added a lot of stuff to this since I put this car together. A solid state relay. It has the Rywire switch panel. Has a power tune digital screen. A jag seat with the cover. EP3 steering wheel off the one I just got rid of. I have a CAN keypad. I don't use it yet, but I've got that There's the catch pan, the intercooler. It's got a roll cage in here. It's got a wolf box dash cam that has front camera, inside camera, and a rear camera. On the back, it has 24 by 4.5 by 15 wheels, and those are on Speed Factory extended reel trailing arms, MNZ, made in America, lower control arms, or these are trailing arms, lower control arms, and it has the blocks drag coils, sits nice and low, has the Speed Factory brakes. Sponsored by V&V. Haltac, got all the goods. So it's a very basic setup. Here's a turbo. Has a Borg Warner S300 on it. Here's the turbo manifold. It's an ASM Lexan T4 60mm gate VS Racing. I forgot to show you the wheels. These are the Kaiser V-Louds 13 by 11s with 24.5, 9.5, 13s on them.
Here they are, our new Drag Cartel 2.2 cams. Technically they're not ours, but a good friend of ours is letting us borrow them. So it should give us we're looking for another 200 horsepower or so in the power band without revving it any higher than we are right now. They are the Drag Cartel 2.2s. So I'm getting everything cleaned up, ready to put our VTC gear on. This is our variable valve timing. So we can adjust this electronically through oil pressure on the intake side to allow more in on spool up. And then here's the exhaust side one, basic. We have an inline pro tensioner in here and everything else is stock. Alrighty, so we got our trigger wheels on. You saw me do that. I torqued them down to the proper torque. I torqued the exhaust gear. I cannot torque this until it's on the engine because this bolt has to go on after the valve cover, so the mechanical fuel pump. I got the chain off, I got the bottom holder off. I have everything all cleaned up. Oil is draining, everything's all clean. I'm gonna start putting the cams in and get going, baby.
This ain't no SXE like I'm used to. This is that good brand new one with the black wheel. Oh yeah, baby, look at that thing. So here's our old turbo. You can see it's a little chewed up right there, all the way around. Here's the new one. Look how much meat we were missing. Look at all that difference. Can you see that? Wowzers. And this is a 1, 2, 3. This is a 6 blade. The old one is 1, 2, 3, 7 blade. This one's black, this one's gold, silver. Our exhaust, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The new latest and greatest. And we can't start it or anything. We're hoping to dyno it next Sunday, so we have a week to figure it out. All right, so we are putting the turbo kit on. We're putting the intake manifold back on. We're gonna see if our pipe still fits. I'm still waiting on our intake manifold. I said we're waiting on, you know what I meant. So turbo's on. We're gonna put a new turbo on. We're about to torque that down. Valve cover's on, and we'll start piecing it back together. We're still waiting on our plenum for this though, our runners, unfortunately. So we can't switch to methanol until we get those. Some in that area. Alrighty, we made it home. Let's see if it actually fits as good as it looks. We really hope so. Really hope so. But just from the previous videos I showed you, you can tell this thing's way nicer than the other one. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works. It fits. Look at even the ports. You can actually see the whole engine in there. Before, that hole was so small. The bolt holes line up. I got the studs in. That's with no modifications. I'm getting happy already. Dude, if this works. Look how good this thing fits. I can see that bolt down there. I can turn that by hand to put it in. That is awesome. I put the studs here at the top just because they're easier up here. They're not Jack Spaniel's fault, but they're just old and abused. But I got all the bolt holes in. All the bottom 3 are in, the top are in. This one doesn't go in until I do this coolant adapter. All right, so I have the standoffs hooked up
for the fuel rail. And we have our injectors laid out right here. These are Bosch 2200s. We have 8 of them, 2 per cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and lube these up and we're gonna start inserting them and go from there. All the bolts went in. We've actually lined up pretty good. Heck yeah, baby. Let's see how it actually fits now. Just gotta wire these up real quick. Alrighty, we're gonna suck out the 1 ethanol R that's in the tank right now, and then we'll add our methanol. I put oil in it, and our boost pipe is not gonna fit, obviously. We're gonna have to do something about that. Welcome back to Frank's Garage. Today is dyno day. Well, actually, I'm going to work. I'm headed to work, but I'm hoping to be out by noon. I just have a Hellcat to do. Hoping to be done by noon and be at the dyno around 2. So we got El Franco here. We switched our fuel to methanol, our new turbo, our camshafts. We're gonna only do like a wastegate pull. No big power numbers or anything like that. We're just gonna get the fuel good. And it's on Haltech, so we could turn it up from the track from there. Also, Eduardo will be there with his D-Series. You've seen that on the channel before. And then Elvin, the one I just wired, the Mitsubishi Mirage. So it's gonna be a great time. I'm excited. We have 1 week until the shootout. So if we had anything else we have to get done, we got a week to do it. But the car should be ready. Besides air cooler piping, and we have a throttle body we're gonna put on at the dyno. And stuff like that. Let's get going. We're all loaded up. Throttle body on right now. I'm still in the trailer. It's been hours. We haven't even got to my car yet. No, you still have to make the pipe if you can, and we'll be up next if everything goes as planned. Is there a lock or keep going? My car's getting dynoed. I'm working on Elvin's car doing his speed sensors. He finally got him, so he's helping out in there, and I'm out here. Stock Civic, El Stocco. Some stainless rod in mine. Well, Nardi did it, but he put these little stainless rods in. Just channeling my inner Mustang. This is for a Fox body throttle position sensor, Fox body bolt pattern on the Hondita. This PLM one back up and sending this thing back. It's worthless. Can't use it for anything. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, throw it away or something, but I better get my money back for it because that's very
good boost leak there, eh? Oh yeah. She's gonna have even more power now.
Alrighty, we're on the road to the shootout. Today is Wednesday. We're leaving tomorrow. We're gonna try to get in line about noon tomorrow. So I got the car all tuned. Everything's done, throttle body's on, everything runs. She makes good power. We haven't really made any more than wastegate, 22 pounds, but we'll save that for the track. I'm just pulling the injectors right now, making sure they're clean. You know, always good to check your injectors, even though they're brand new. After we did a few pulls on methanol. So we're doing that, and then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna clean this bed out, and then we're gonna try to organize all of our tools. I might see if I can take like one of those toolboxes just to put all my tools in it. Plus like all this stuff has to go, you know. But we'll get there. We're figuring it out. Oh. Fire. All cleaned out, all packed up, all tore down. Everything in here, toolbox, all the goods. That's about it. Ready to go. How to wrap a parachute.
Post it. Get those views.
Oh yeah. I already did mine. Mine's a little different. His has the string on the actual spring. Mine is on the bag. Same thing I did. Same thing we did, so we're good. We good.
Oh, oh, what a mess. All over here.
This one's way harder than mine, and mine's hard.
Yeah, but understand.
Here comes the hard part.
La subida va allá. Ya.
Sí, eso va acá. Por eso cuando ya esté metido el spring, haga fuerza.
Aguántale duro ahí.
No, eso sí aguanta lo duro. Eso, ahora sí.
No sé, espérate. No sé.
Voy a meter este cordón aquí.
Sí, métete aquí.
There's your string of dinghy.
Por abajo primero.
Here's the two-man job also. 4 of us.
You got a 7/8 wrench, so I can take my ultra sensor out.
I have, I got tools over there. Not a wrench, but I got a probably crescent wrench. Yeah, in my toolbox over there.
I grab it over there. I gotta go out. Aguántalo. Por el del lado.
All right, first pass successful. Personal best to the 8th, 5.9 at 127. We had a boost pipe pop off again, so we glued that.
found a couple leaks here in our throttle body, and go from there.
That power comes in, that power comes in.
Gets on front, stays on front, 979 at 147.
My boy LBJ.
Slight improvement, but I don't think that's going to move him up the ladder any. Next up, and Rivera a little stumble there, but still 960.
Right lane, 964. We're looking at 60 foot because he's all-wheel drive.
Yes.
All-wheel drive, 1.4.
You just gotta tell everybody that they're lucky you don't have a spare vehicle.
here we go. Edgar Rivera has not been down the track for a qualifier yet out Lincoln Park, Michigan. Breaks the course to your current number 4.
Throw them on a cookie. I don't like cookies, so you like it? Throw them on a cookie.
I like the toasty.
There we go.
We'll put it right here. Oh, that's a big truck. Look at them. What are these?
It's some white.
Great stripes. I had another here.
I know, it's just funny right now. It's funny right now.
Because like I was
We've got March, we've got like different steps now.
he's almost done. I said take you for and watch the TV.
Y'all blow it out. Y'all blow it out.
Figure out how to get this TV to work.
Like a birthday
Yeah,
candle.
hot
Happy
spot.
birthday. Let's sing happy birthday.
Mark,
that good?
do you have a hotspot? Alright, turn it on so I can get the TV on for Jason.
All right, hold on. We got first life-changing events happening right now.
Michigan in the Honda. Bart Heleniak could not make it.
Chef Tuna over there.
Whoa, bud. What is that? Right over the cone. Right stuck. Oh no, you pushed it. Old Huffy girl.
Blew it.
Blew it?
Like it blew his motor.
For a qualifier, Lincoln Park, Michigan, Ohio, makes it for you, turn number 4.
Found our problem. El Torcho. El Torcho. Gone. Gone. Holy bejazzles.